I could recall one lady that just like maybe a few months ago, and her cover letter was just one sentence, a very funny one, and she's not working with us. The one sentence was, "Unlike coffee, I will wake you up, and you will be glad to work with me." So I called her straight away, and we had the interview. She's experienced in that field anyway, but this one sentence cover letter was glorious. I really like the creativity behind it, and I really like the statement. Thanks. So first of all, thank you for this opportunity. I'm really happy that I could present myself and the Neo Hunter in front of this big audience. Bit about myself, I'm working within the international recruitment industry for more than 12 years already. Less than a year with my team, we are building a company, Neo Hunter. We are a recruitment as a service provider, which means that we are doing direct outsourcing of freelance recruitment capacities to our clients on hourly base, on a subscription scheme, and also we are providing a digital headhunting services to fulfill open roles for our clients globally. That's fun and interesting story. Back in that time, I was a web developer. I was building e-shops and websites, and actually I built totally the first e-shop focused on construction goods in Czech Republic and Slovakia. We did totally the first one on the market. But then the crisis came in 2008, 2009, and everything fell down. And I decided that, okay, I think that I would like to change the industry. I would like to change my profession. And I came back, I came to London. I was active there for almost 2 years. I was studying there digital strategies, and I was also working there. And then when I came back, I'm based in Bratislava, Slovakia, in central of Europe. And when I came back, I got an offer from largest recruitment agency here in this region, and that was the position of IT recruitment consultant. And I was combining my IT skills together with very interesting field, and that's the recruitment. And I told myself, okay, this could be something interesting. So that's how my journey in recruitment starts. So I decided to combine what I was doing previously and to bring it to some new area, and that was recruitment. And I totally found a passion for it, and I'm doing that until today. So I grew up, every role it was something new, and I was then building and leading international large recruitment teams. I was even building the large manufacturing factories from the scratch in various countries in Europe. And I was also part of the Adecco group, where I was leading the innovation program for 13 countries on the ML scale. That was very interesting experience. And now we are building, and I'm also bringing all this experience to the Neo Hunter team, and we are now building recruitment as a service solution. I can, speaking about the headhunting solution, everyone is now speaking about AI and how to automate stuff. But I honestly think that we are not in that stage that we could automate everything. And there is still a huge portion of headhunting work which is depending on your network and how great you could outreach to the potential pool of candidates. And that's our main strategy, to really fine-tune the outreach strategy, who we are targeting, how we are targeting the candidates. Of course, we are using some tool stack at the beginning of the sourcing strategy, of the sourcing process, but at the end, it's always one-on-one discussion at the end with the potential candidates. So we are combining this old traditional approach with the new one, and I think that is our competitive advantage on the market, that we are bringing these new tools, but we are always combining this traditional approach, because the human relation is still there. It is HR, and the human relation should be there. And I think that we as recruitment experts, we are firstly a consultant even to the client, but also to the client, even to the candidate, but also to the client. And that's, I think, what matters at the end. And speaking about some particular role, just recently we closed with senior project manager lead for the energy startup located here in this region. And that was very interesting position, even to find that specific skill set. That's how we leverage our tool stack, but then to speak with the candidates, outreach to them, and convert them to someone who is interested to the role, and the candidate is already started. So that's maybe one, but there is like more within this year, and we are now also working on several very, very interesting projects for our clients. So I'm very interested to close it as soon as possible. This is a very interesting question, because I was implementing AI solutions even when it was not so cool like today. And I think that what OpenAI brings to whole globe is some hype about AI. Everyone is now talking about AI. And I was even this morning on some AI workshop for HR guys. But basically, AI is not solution for everything. I think the human interaction is still what matters at the end. When you interact with some level of professionals, they really do not expect to interact with the chatbot. They do not expect to interact with some like tool who should automate the first communication. They are expecting to speak with someone who is expert in this field. And what we sense and what we also implement within NeoHunter is the combination of these both principles. AI could help us with the first candidate sourcing part, but then always it is on the table of the specific recruiter or headhunter who is dealing with that candidate. And if AI will change the industry, I think yes, and it is already changing. And the guys who are using AI will benefit in front of the guys who are not using AI. I will say it this way. Yes, thanks for asking this, because that is like our main value proposition here, and one of the biggest selling point which we are offering to our clients is how we are leveraging the technology. Speaking about the digital headhunting, now that's why we are calling it even digital headhunting, because we are, the times when you open your note and there are like tons of contacts and you are now calling them one by one. I feel that is the matter of past, but we are now combining the tool stack, specifically focus on the candidate selection, candidate sourcing, data scraping over the social media and also public databases, various job boards. And then we are combining it with the outreaching strategy, which is personalized. But here also we are combining the technology with the human touch. And that is the value proposition which we are bringing to our clients, that we could shorten the time by when we are able to outreach to the best candidates suitable for that specific position. And that's why we are able to shorten the time, because we are leveraging the technology and we are always improving the tool stack which we are using. I think that there is like way to go to be as effective as possible, but at least we are doing it like almost a year. I'm bringing my expertise from that head of transformation role which I was holding in Adecco Group. And I must say that when I compare, for example, the open ratio or like the reply ratio with the candidates, or even the quality of the pool which we are working on a specific roles, we are definitely improving in this field. And that's how we are even be able to provide the service to the clients from the position is assigned to us until the position is filled. The time to fill is definitely shorter. I'm always saying that even the rejected candidate could be your brand ambassador. And that is something which every who is working with the candidates and is rejecting the candidate should keep in mind. Because, you could send just automated message once you close your position with your ATS system, and automated message could be well written, but it is automated message. But when you do it properly, maybe even on phone, maybe even in person, but or maybe some other way which is like more appealing to the candidate, and you directly explain to them, okay, these are the reasons, but anyway, you've been a great candidate and I would like to stay in touch with you. Feel free to reach out to me anytime you would have any other question. That is still better compared to the automated message. So, but there are like tons variations how you could reject a candidate. But keep in mind that even the rejected candidates could be your brand ambassador, and that from the point of view, like when we are speaking heavily about the candidate experience, the rejection part is also part of the candidate experience. And think about how is the experience for the candidates and what is the experience at the end for the candidates. Now, it depends on the profession, depends on the seniority of the candidates, depend on various sector, and so on and so on. You are rejecting blue collars differently than you are rejecting white collars or senior executives. But the rejection part is very important because you are sending the message outside to the market, to the candidates, and that come back to you, and you are building the relationship even with the rejection. That's very important. This is also a bit like a generation question because you are dealing with different type of generations, and every generation is different in terms of how they interact with the others. And I must say that what I'm sensing is that the people are more moving to non-human interaction, and they're better writing to each other. And also when we are recruiting for a new hunter, we are always like pushing, okay, you need to pick up the phone and you need to call the client and you need to call the candidate, and you need to be really close to them, not just write them an email and wait 2 days. And I think this is changing because, you know, everyone is on the phone, everyone is scrolling the Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and just few of them are really speaking together, and that's a very important, crucial part for the recruitment to be done properly. And that's what I think that I would like to highlight toward this question, that the human interaction should still be human. I say it this way. I'm that kind of freak who is signing up to every newsletter which is on the market, and then I'm filtering which newsletter makes sense to me, which not. I'm also listening to podcasts quite a lot. Every time when I'm having that spare time and I'm walking to the work, or I'm driving in a car, I'm always listening to the podcast. There is like numerous podcasts which I would recommend. I like to read the professional articles from the people who are within the business many years. I need to say that I also like your blog posts and your articles as a Recruit CRM. You are doing a great job. You are interviewing really professionals on the market. Maybe this is one of the top sources which I'm having on my list. That's it. I think that I'm doing recruitment for some specific type of clients, or Neo Hunter is doing recruitment for some specific type of clients, and I think that everyone should find that niche, and within the niche you could find always that specific type of influencers who are creating a great content which could inspire you, which could keep you up to date towards the tools, towards the information, towards like the market situation, even because even the market situation is changing. Everyone is now speaking about a slowdown and such a stuff, and you need to be prepared for that. How you will evolve, how you will innovate your business processes, what's new you will bring to your clients, and that could be a great source of inspiration when you are linked to the niche specific type of influencers who are creating a great content related to your expertise. And I'm speaking of recruitment expertise because everyone is handling some portion of the market. It is definitely. First of all, I need to say that we got this privilege to be part of the InHunt world. It is a huge network of really headhunting professionals globally. If I'm right, there are like in almost 80 countries globally. We got this privilege to represent specifically Slovakia market, and we are as an official partner for Slovakia. We are heavily cooperating with guys around the Slovakia, like Czech Republic, Poland, Austria. We are exchanging the recruitment projects together. That is one of the part. Secondly, what we could offer to our international clients is this global footprint. When we got some foreign projects like what I mentioned in Austria or Czech Republic, we are always including our partners there. They got their strong local presence, footprint there, and they could heavily support our clients. We get multiple cooperations like this. And I must say it wasn't easy to be part of InHuntWorld. That was a huge selection process, but we came through, and I'm happy that we as a NeoHunter could be part of this group. I think even the InHuntWorld and NeoHunter are evolving to be even more productive towards the clients, and I could also say that the exchange of the information about the market, about the clients, what is happening where, what kind of tender is where, and so on and so on. That is really helping us to build up our business development activities. That's a good one. What I say at the first stage, I'm trying always mindfully do what I do. When I'm speaking with the client, I'm speaking with the client. When I'm with my family, I'm with my family, and that's all. When I'm with my friends, I'm with my friends. When I'm speaking with someone, I'm focusing purely on him, and nothing else matters. So be fully present in that moment. I think that is something which keeps me okay. I will say it this way. Very simple. It is simple as that, but it is harder to do it. Now, secondly, I do sport a lot. That is my relax. That is me time, what I'm having several times a week. When I'm really going out, I like to exercise outside, not indoor, because I'm always indoor in the office spaces or speaking with the client somewhere, and my exercise time is always outside, even when it's freezing, even when it's like hot, raining. I'm always going out, and that is also keeping me in a good shape mentally. And then there is my family. I really need to say that I get two sons, 2 and 4 years old, little babies, and they keep me alive. I will say it like that. That's also one of the biggest part, how I would like to switch off. When I come home, I'm fully home with them, and I'm dedicating myself fully mentally and physically to be right there, and that is very important to still be productive enough. I think that it is the whole roller coaster journey. Ups and downs. Everything matters. I say it like that because there is nothing which is better and which is like worst. I think that the whole journey is important. This is a great one, because when I started in the recruitment field, I told myself, oh great, I like to work with the people and I'm connected to the IT technologies and such a stuff. And that was basically true, but then I realized, okay, this is very tough and the recruitment is not so funny, and definitely not for everyone. And then when I was recruiting the guys to my teams, I always tried to scare them as much as possible that this is really tough, this is very difficult, and be prepared for it, because everyone thinks that, okay, I will be interviewing guys and I will be promoting their career and so on, but that's like really small portion of the whole recruitment. And I think the perception changes about the recruiters and the recruitment field over the time. We don't have like the best reputation, I would say, as a recruiters, because everyone thinks that, okay, they are just moving one CV to one place to another place and just having the coffees with the candidates and with the clients. But that is always not true. And the guys who would like to start within the recruitment, they really need to be able to work under the pressure. That's first. Secondly, they really need to deliver until the proposed, within the proposed deadlines, and that is really not for everyone. This structured type of work with a lot of information in your head, where you need to balance between the positions, the candidates, the manager, clients, on all those different areas, and you are somewhere in the middle. Basically, that didn't change. What changed is the perception, and maybe the usage of the new tools makes some parts of it more easier. But what I would recommend to the recruiters who are going to start in this field: be yourself, be authentic, be creative. How you are creating the communication and everything, and then you will stand out. I could recall one lady that just like maybe a few months ago, and her cover letter was just one sentence, a very funny one, and she's not working with us. The one sentence was, "I'm like coffee. I will wake you up, and you will be glad to work with me." So I called her straight away, and we had the interview. She's experienced in that field anyway, but this one sentence cover letter was glorious. I really like the creativity behind it, and I really like the statement.